Sometimes while you work in permanent makeup doing eyebrows, it feels like you're working and working over the same area, but then after 30 days the customer comes back and there's nothing left. In today's video, I explain you why this happens, but most of all, how to prevent it. Hey everyone, I'm Francesca Froio. I'm an expert in permanent makeup, and today I will answer to one of the most tricky questions in the industry. Why is the pigment not lasting enough into the skin? Why do you not get the right retention from the usage of your pigment? There could be many reasons why that happens, and I would like to summarize them in three main categories. The first two problems could be a technical problem due to the technique of implantation of the pigment. Option one, you may be working too superficially. You may be too delicate when you work on the skin. Sometimes, well, I have a lot of academies, I work in the Biotek academies, and I have the chance to confront myself with a lot of students that have exactly this problem. And what they tell me all of the time is that it looks like they have saturated the brow correctly. Why? Because sometimes maybe you work into the skin, you do a lot of layers, and it looks like the brow it's rightly saturated. But even if you work a lot and the pigment seems to be there, but you have implanted the pigment in the upper layers of the skin, which means in the epidermis, well, this specific area of the skin, it's going to exfoliate in the 30 days of healing process. So all of the pigment you have implanted, it's going to go away in these 30 days, and when the customer comes back, you'll be left with nothing. So my suggestion for you, light hand person, is to apply a little bit more pressure while you're working. I know you should not apply too much pressure, but just a little bit more will help you dramatically and will give you a better retention of the pigment. Option two, maybe the pressure is correct, but you're not implanting enough pigment into the skin. Maybe because you are in a rush, or the customer feels a little bit of pain, or you don't want to overstress the eyebrow. For some reason, you're not doing enough layers, or you're working too fast with your hand on the eyebrow. Well, in this case, I would recommend you to work slowly. Take your time. And I mean, the hand movement in the shading or in the hair strokes should be very slow to leave enough time to the permanent makeup machine to implant enough pigment into the skin. So work with your hand very slowly in the movement and try to do more layers. Try to do a couple more layers to make sure that you're really bringing a lot of pigment into the skin, and you'll fix your problem. Option three, you're choosing the wrong kind of pigment. In the Biotek range, we have 3 different lines of eyebrow pigments with 3 different formulations to accommodate the taste of any operator. The first 2 lines are called Inorganic Creamy and Inorganic Liquid. And these 2 lines are made 100% with inorganic pigment powders, with no additives whatsoever. So it means that when you work with these lines, since they have no additives, the pigment is going to fade away from the skin quite quickly, and your customers are gonna need a touch-up every single year. So when you work with those lines, you need to bring a lot of pigment into the skin, so the eyebrows really need to be fully saturated, overworked, and strong, like bold. Because 50% of this color is going to fade away during the 30 days healing process of the skin. So even if your customers comes out of your studio with very strong colors, very rich in pigmentation, when they come back after 30 days, the color is very soft and natural. And you need to work like this when you work with this kind of pigments. Otherwise, if you work superficially, if you work delicately, if you don't do a lot of layers, and it looks already nice immediately after the procedure, 50%, it's gonna be gone, and your customer is gonna come back with almost nothing. The third line that we have in Biotek, it's called Hybrid Long Lasting. This line, it's made with a mixture of inorganic and organic pigment powders, so that's why it's called hybrid. And it contains a special additive which is called copolymer, which helps the pigment to stick better into the skin. So when you work with this kind of pigments, you will have great healed results immediately after the first session. Because of this additive, you actually don't need to overwork the eyebrow at all. You need to work, you don't need to do a lot of layers. You can just do like 3 layers on the eyebrow. The procedure is going to be quicker. The eyebrows are not going to be so strong immediately after the session, and almost everything, it's going to stay into the skin after 30 days. There will be a pigment loss of 10%, let's say. So if you're feeling that you're not getting the right healed result, this will be the line of pigment that I would recommend you to try. The line, it's composed by 5 shades that can be mixed among each other. Absolutely, you do not need to dilute those colors. You want them pure because we want the full color into the skin, the full power. And the first color, it's called Spritz, and it's a warm blonde. All of the colors that I will show you are going to be warm because they are pre-balanced to prevent any grayish healing. Second color is called Pina Colada and is a light brown warm color. Third one is called Margarita, and that's a medium brown warm color. Then my favorite color would be Mojito. I use tons of Mojito every month. I find that this color is so suitable for a lot of people in Italy, and I tend to use it all the time. It's a warm dark brown color. And the last but not the least, Bellini. This is an extra dark warm color, and you should not be concerned about using the dark shade, the darkest shade of the range, because unlike other brands, our darkest shade, it's not going to heal gray and it's not going to be too dark. So use it with confidence, because for example, on a person like me, my eyebrows are almost black. You would actually need to use Bellini on me. And now I show you a quick example of how good our copolymer works for this kind of pigments. I'm gonna smear on the back of my hand 1 drop of the Hybrid Long Lasting line pigment, and next to it I will put 1 drop of an inorganic color from Biotek. So the inorganic color does not contain the special copolymer which helps the pigment to retain into the skin, while the Hybrid Long Lasting contains it. Smear the 2 of them. Let them sit for a good minute, let them dry, and then pass your finger over them. You will notice immediately that on the long-lasting line, there will be no retention of color, no smudge of pigment on your finger, and it will feel like there is a protective film over the pigment. It's completely locked into the skin. While the other color, if you press your finger on it, you can see that it gets smudged quite easily, and there is absolutely no binding agent in it. So the same way that it works on your hand, it's gonna work when you implant it inside of the skin of your customer. That's why I know you're gonna have amazing healed results with this line, especially for the light hand people that want something a little bit stronger, but that it doesn't fade gray. Try them out and let me know what you think about them. Drop me a message down below here if you have any questions for me. You know, I always get back to you guys. And if you have liked this video, please rate it positively. You know, this channel is just for you guys, so I make all of this every day, spending hours of my time and resources to try to help the industry. So I would appreciate some love, show me some love, put like to this video. I invite you also to subscribe to my channel, and I leave you my Instagram details right here to connect. Thank you guys for joining me, and I see you in the next videos. Ciao!